Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, back from a little bit of a slumber. Won't get into the details of that, but I did want to update you guys on a video as there is a free game available right now on Steam. There's a great free weekend, which I highly recommend you guys to take advantage of. A great multiplayer game that I always go to bat for. There is also a freebie on the Epic Game Store. We'll go over that really quickly, and I do want to highlight two games that are on Steam, Blazing Chrome as well as Greedfall. Blazing Chrome just dropped today, and if you're into old school indie retro games with pixel graphics, this is going to be right up your alley. And then Greedfall is an upcoming open world RPG that hardly anyone is talking about, but if you actually look at it from a visual standpoint, from a gameplay standpoint, it looks rather interesting and rather compelling, and it is coming from a pretty notable studio, so we'll talk that at the end of this video. But I do want to run through the free stuff pretty quickly. Right now, over on Steam, you can get a copy of Age of Wonders 3 for free. It's 100% off, add it to your account, and it'll be yours to own forever. It'll actually be available free for a little bit until July 15th. Whenever they do these freebie offers, usually it's like a 48-hour window or whatever the case may be. In this case, they're giving you a solid 4 days to snag it up. This game has been free before, I believe, on the Humble Store, but this is the first time it's been free directly on Steam. The Humble Store free offering was also for a Steam key, so it's not like that's a big deal. But nonetheless, since it's available, I wanted to give it a mention. This is a game that's been received pretty well, an 80 on Metacritic. Being a turn-based strategy game, you guys know that this isn't really my cup of tea, but nonetheless, overall Steam reviews do have it pegged at 80% positive, and that's across 6,905 user reviews, 811 recent user reviews, and that have it received even better at 88% positively. Typically goes for $29.99. I imagine during a sale it would be like $7.50, but right now it is available absolutely free. There is some DLC available. There's the Eternal Lords expansion, the Golden Realms expansion, and the Deluxe Edition DLC. All of that is discounted as well, 50% off. So check that out if you do want, and they are hyping up the pre-purchase for Age of Wonders Planetfall. That'll be dropping on August 6th, and that is shaping up pretty nicely based on what I can see. That game looks pretty good. Again, not my cup of tea, but a genre that I'm sure a lot of you guys are into, and at the very least, a game that you guys want to add to your library, so I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. Also on Steam, this is more so up my alley. Unfortunately, it's just a free weekend, but this weekend, you can play Rising Storm 2 Vietnam for free. The Red Orchestra series takes on Vietnam 64-player multiplayer matches, 20-plus maps, U.S. Army and Marines, and a lot more to digest with that game. This game has been received incredibly well, 81 on Metacritic. The recent Steam reviews have it pegged really positive, 2,404 user reviews, 94% positive. All time is a little bit less kind with 18,000 user reviews and 82% positive. You guys know how big of a fan I am of Red Orchestra and Rising Storm. This was the series that really brought me into PC gaming. I can always go back and look back on my memories of playing Red Orchestra 2, and that was really my first major PC game, and that kind of opened the floodgates for me to experience everything else. I loved Red Orchestra 2. Rising Storm 2 Vietnam isn't something that I've gotten as invested into. I've played it a little bit here and there, and it's that FPS realistic gameplay that you've come to know, and it is quite good based on what I've played. Jump in with a couple of friends and you should have a pretty good time with it. This is a game that I would highly recommend you to play with a couple of friends for the best experience possible, and given that it is seeing a free weekend, get all of them to download it and jump in together, and you'll have a pretty good time. Again, 64-player battles in here, 6 different armies to play with, each with their own unique weapons and abilities, 3 distinct game modes, VoIP, and a lot of updates come to Rising Storm 2 Vietnam pretty regularly. They're doing the Beach Party Green Army Men right now, so a lot to digest with that. I'll leave a link to that as well, but that'll be free for the weekend. And lastly, Torchlight 1 is the freebie from the Epic Game Store this week. This one's a little bit of a jarring offering given that it's Torchlight 1. I don't know why they didn't just give Torchlight 2, but whatever the case may be, Torchlight 1 is pretty good. Dungeon crawling RPG here, so there's some fun to be had with that. It actually looks like Epic Games is moving to a free game every week, because even since the Mega Game sale ended, they're still going to continue to offer free games every week. So right now until July 18th, Torchlight is going to be free, but then kicking off on July 18th, Limbo is going to be free. That's a pretty great offering, but I feel like everybody and their mother owns that game at this point. But nonetheless, Torchlight is free right now, so you can check that out, and next week you can check out Limbo. They've got a lot of new games listed as well. First time checking out the Epic Game Store in quite a while, and it looks like they've added a lot of stuff from Ubisoft. Shenmue 3 is up there, and of course that is going to be an exclusive. You've got Grifflands Alpha, The Cycle, a couple of interesting titles, but Epic Game Store might be a little bit of a downer to some of you guys, but I did want to mention Torchlight as the freebie. Okay, lastly, I wanted to highlight two games, one of them that just dropped today and the other one that's dropping in September. Let's first talk about the game that just released today, and that's Blazing Chrome. It's an old school action indie 2D retro shoot 'em up. This game looks awesome. If you are into old school like Super Nintendo games like Contra or Metal Slug, this is gonna be right up your alley. It notes, Blazing Chrome, bring your best pal and kick some metal butts to free the humankind while enjoying a classic run and gun fully loaded with action and exciting fights. In Blazing Chrome, machines rule the world and the few humans left are on the edge of total extermination, lacking power, prestige, or status among their metal and circuits overlords. Bring your best pal and kick some metal butts to free the humankind while enjoying a classic run and gun fully loaded with action and exciting fights. The game was released for $16.99, kind of a hefty price point, but given the game that it is, I don't think that's too expensive. I would have liked to see it at, a $12.99 price point, but you guys know how I am. I'm just cheap as hell. The game is definitely one to at the very least add to your wish list. Maybe not pick up now, but pick up down the line during a sale. Looks pretty interesting to me. I've always been a fan of these old school presented games. I loved Axiom Verge, and a game like Blazing Chrome is right up my alley, so I wanted to give that a mention. So far, the Steam reviews that have came in, which are very few, mind you, but 46 user reviews and 97% positive, so that's quite good. Again, $16.99 at the very least added to your wish list. And lastly, I did want to note a game called Greedfall. We just had the launch reveal trailer release for this game, so it caught my eye recently more so. However, this is a game that I've been following in and out for a little bit. It's coming from a studio, Spiders, and they've actually done a couple of other RPGs. They did Mars Warlogs, Bound by Flame, and the Technomancer, which is their most recent game. Technomancer was kind of panned by the critics, but I actually thought it was a pretty interesting RPG. It had a pretty cool sci-fi setting, and I thought that game had some potential, and it seems like Spiders are now moving in for an even bigger budget RPG with Greedfall. It's an open-world fantasy RPG where you engage in a core role-playing experience and forge the destiny of a new world seeping with magic and filled with riches, lost secrets, and fantastic creatures. With diplomacy, deception, and force, become part of a living, evolving world, influence its course, and shape your story. Game is going to be released at $49.99, and this is the kind of game that I would highly recommend you not to buy at launch. This is a game, wait out for it, see how the PC port is, see how the reviews are coming in, and then go from there. But I know a lot of you guys are adverse to getting Borderlands 3 for now, considering that is coming to the Epic Game Store first, and you're waiting for that to come out on Steam. Greedfall coming right around the same time, September 10th, just 3 days before Borderlands 3, and it is being released on Steam. Who knows? This might be a game that ends up surprising a lot of us based on the customizability in the game, all of the gameplay nuances. Looks pretty interesting, and hopefully this is the kind of game that puts a studio like Spiders on the map. It is being published by Focus Home Interactive, and they've put out some pretty great games recently, and maybe Greedfall is just gonna add to their repertoire going forward. That's gonna conclude this video, guys. Wanted to highlight all of the free stuff available right now, as well as Blazing Chrome and Greedfall, two Steam games that I do think are gonna go under the radar a little bit. Again, Blazing Chrome out right now for $16.99, Greedfall out September 10th, and that will be at a hefty $49.99 at the very least. Those are games you add to your wish list. That's going to conclude this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.